You wouldn't want them spoken about. Words sometimes are all you have. Use them with care. This has been Self-Care Tips. I am Irene Jorogen.
Santos Chifira. Unafanya kazi gani?
Mimi nauzanga mawabling na wagon. Kwani wewe peke yako tu hapo kwa hiyo mtaa wewe ndio huko na mkokoteni? Lakini ni wagon yangu ndio imepatikana kwangu. Mimi nikiwapeaga wagon renangwa, wanakuja magizgiz, wananipiga ngadua ama ruas.
Sasa hiyo nini?
Wewe kuna mkokoteni yako ipotea?
Mimi hakuna mkokoteni.
Na uko na mikokoteni?
Hapana.
Uko na ambulance hiyo?
Sina.
Na ulikuwa unakuja kutufanyia first aid hapo kwa Kiraimu sini kama nani?
Munangere ndio nini?
Ni pesa.
Unasikia?
Huyo hana kitu.
Wewe unaweza mlipa huyu?
Nani?
Wewe.
Mimi sina kitu ya kumlipa na mlipa.
Sasa kwa nini unauliza swali ambayo haitakusaidia?
Wasana na hiyo yote. Hiyo barabara ni yako.
Barabara. Sio.
To get the pit as your skiza tune, dial *811 *397#.
You may be in the pit. You do not see how you could get out. But the good news is that you do not have to get by yourself. The Most High God is about to lift you out. He's about to turn the medical report. He's about to free you. He's about to open new doors, bringing new opportunities, new relationships. The pit is not your destination. Get ready to rise.
To get the pit, dial *811 *397#. *811 *397#.
Thank you for the good life, good life. Allah, wanna thank you for the good life.
Naye Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam anashauri kuwa kuna zama ambazo itafikia ambazo binadamu atakuwa anaamka akiwa ni Muislamu lakini jioni atazamia akiwa ni kafiri.
Harakisheni kwenda kufanya matendo mema lillah. Na yale matendo mema yawe na sharti mbili. Iwe mukhlasa lillah, ufanye na ikhlasi lillah kwa ajili ya Allah. Ukiswali swali lillah kwa ajili ya Allah.
Good evening and welcome to Prime Edition. Yesterday was the last day in office for Fuller Chebukati, the chairperson of the IEBC, Professor Abdi Gulia and Boya Molu. Of course, the process begins of reconstituting the IEBC, bearing in mind 3 of its commissioners opted to resign other than face the tribunal, while 1 remains suspended. So which way Parliament? Is a conversation tonight with the Member of Parliament for Gatundu South, Gabriel Kagombe, who will be joining us a little bit later. But of course, we have more stories, Regina.
Now, talking about matters of child safety, online safety is that 67% of minors aged between 12 and 17 are online and are susceptible to online abuse.
And that conversation again is a conversation that we'll continue to have, of course, bearing in mind the statistics released yesterday. But first things first, the highlights. It is a race against time for the government to honor a 150 million shillings compensation awarded to the Ogiek by the court for the abuse of their rights. Child trafficking. 2 former social workers at Mamalusi Hospital found with a case to answer. And cancer crisis in Western Kenya. The government urged to address shortage of specialists through training and recruitment. Lucy Maura is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria, of course, doing this with Regina Manyara. Welcome to the broadcast. We begin the conversation tonight with the news that the government is racing against time to implement a court order that awarded the Ogiek community a 150 million compensation for the abuse of their rights. The Commission on Administrative Justice on Wednesday convened a consultative forum comprising 4 ministries and the Office of the Attorney General to develop a roadmap for the implementation of the ruling. And as Geshuki Washira now reports, there may be a need to expedite the process because the 6 months timeline issued by the court for the implementation of the ruling has already elapsed.
In June 2022, the African Court of Human and People's Rights in Tanzania found the government of Kenya had violated the right to life, property and culture of the Ogiek community. The historic judgment outlined the steps the government must take to compensate the community, including awarding them 150 million shillings. The court further directed the government to recognize and consult the Ogiek community in accordance with their traditions and customs on matters concerning development and investments on their land. The ruling was to be implemented in 6 months, and the government report back to the court on the progress.
And we are also ready to assist Kenyans and marginalized communities to navigate the corridors of public entities to provide clarity in the implementation processes and any handles that they face when they knock the doors of the public offices.
In line with its mandate of enforcing administrative justice, the Commission on Administrative Justice convened a consultative forum to develop a roadmap on how to ensure the Ogiek get justice.
I started as a very young man, struggling and speaking about the Ogiek community. And one great issue was first about recognition. Can people accept us? Instead of calling us Dorobos, can they call us our name, Ogiek?
I'm told that the Ogiek as a name means the caretaker of all plants and wild animals. So when I spoke to Daniel and the team that came to visit me and asked them what exactly this means, they told me that from ages, they are the ones who have been protecting the forest. So even as we discuss on how the judgment is going to be implemented, I would like it to be known that the Ogiek community are the caretakers of all plants and wild animals.
The Office of the Attorney General attributed the delay in implementing the ruling to electioneering and transition period that slowed down government activities last year.
What I can say is that they are now new peers in position. They will need time to internalize the judgment in question. and then they will give their position on the aspect of compliance.
The Kenyan government is required to undertake delimitation, demarcation and titling to protect Ogiek rights to occupy and use the Mau forest and its resources. Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
Indeed, that has been a struggle for the marginalized community who believe that without the forest, they cannot be in existence, and without them, then the forest cannot exist. 150 million shillings awarded to the Ogiek community. Now, a 47-year-old man from Kangabwa village in Gatundu North, Kiambu County, is in custody after he allegedly impregnated his 15-year-old daughter. David Mbogwa is said to have severally defiled his daughter despite several warnings by his wife. The minor gave birth last year in December.
David Mbogwa, a 47-year-old father of 3 from Kagambo village in Gatundu North in Kiambu County, is said to have developed the habit of engaging in sexual acts with his 15-year-old daughter. According to Virginia Mudhoki, the minor's mother, she started suspecting the two, and whenever she would raise the issue, the suspect would threaten her.
Kuna siku nilishuku, lakini babake akaniuliza, sasa unataka unipeleke jela? Mimi hii mambo, sababu babake anakuanga na ukali, nikanyamazia.
Mimi nilishikwa ni baba yangu na akaniambia nisiseme hii mambo kwa sababu nikisema naweza kufa. Na sikusema hiyo mambo, lakini hapa mwisho nilikuja nikabia mama yangu.
Early last year, the minor conceived.
Kesho yake nikamwambia ampeleke Wendo. Na apimwe makojo. Kupimwa makojo, alienda akadungwa shindano. Hiyo shindano sikujua ilikuwa ya dini. Msichana sasa akawa mzuri. Akaendelea mpaka tarehe 8 mwezi wa Disemba ndio tulijua mtoto ako na mimba.
To conceal the act, Mbogwa asked his wife to take her to his sister in Naivasha, where she eventually gave birth on the 28th of December 2022. Police and other law enforcement agencies have been urged not to spare the suspect who is currently in custody.
Tunataka wasichana wetu walindwe vizuri, kwa maana sisi tunasikia mbaya sana. Usugu wa hiyo mtoto kusiko na apata mimba na mtoto.
Tukiangalia kama hiyo mzee amefanya hiyo kitendo, tukasikia aibu kusikia, tuko na yani uchungu.
Kula nitalea mtoto, lakini nitaendelea na masomo, nitaachia mamagu mtoto niendelee na masomo.
Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
I mean, how these things happen is mind-boggling. A Nairobi court has found 2 accused persons charged on counts of child theft and child trafficking as implicated in the BBC, quote-unquote, the Baby Stealers film. And the court has found they have a case to answer. These 2 have been put on their defense. The case will be mentioned on the 22nd of February, with a hearing scheduled for the 7th of March of 2023. Serafina Robi with more from the courts.
Satisfied that both of you have a case to answer?
In a ruling by Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Esther Kimilu, the court found, considering submissions by the defense and prosecution, that it was satisfied that the accused persons, Fred Leparan Makala, jointly charged alongside Selina Awor Adundo, who are social workers at Mama Lucy Hospital, have a case to answer.
You were charged with 1 count of conspiracy and various counts of trafficking in person, and as well as child neglect contrary to the Children Act.
It's alleged that between March 1st, 2020 and November 16th, 2020, at Mama Lucy Kibaki Hospital in Embakasi Central within Nairobi, jointly with others not before the court, they conspired to traffic a human being. The case will be mentioned on the 22nd of February, with the hearing scheduled for 7th of March this year. Meanwhile, the High Court has declined to grant Wells Fargo Limited interim orders sought to compel the Private Security Regulatory Authority to issue them with a temporary private license to operate as a private security service provider. Wells Fargo claims to have applied for the license on the 20th of March 2020 and says despite meeting all the criteria, they're yet to be given the license 2 years and 10 months down the line. Failure to be granted the license, they might lose up to 3,000 employees. In a ruling by Justice Jairus Nga, the court found that although the Private Security Regulatory Authority is alleged to have delayed in processing Wells Fargo's license, there is no sufficient reasons given by Wells Fargo why Wells Fargo did not move to the court for leave at the earliest opportunity possible. Wells Fargo has been directed to file and serve a substantive motion within 7 days of the date of the ruling, while the regulatory authority is directed to serve its response within 7 days of the date of service. If the substantive motion is filed as directed, the matter shall be mentioned on the 1st of February 2023 for directions. Finally, the media has been barred from covering a case in which a child had his eyes gouged in Kisii County. Kisii Senior Resident Magistrate Christine Ogweno says the coverage of the case will infringe on the minor's right to privacy. Serafina Robi for Prime Edition.
A family of a 34-year-old man is demanding justice for their kin who was found dead last week at the Kizuruni police station, Kaloleni constituency. According to the police, the deceased, Santa Kiambu, hung himself with a blanket on the night in question, claims that are now being disputed by the family.
An unexpected turn of events at a birthday party in Kaloleni, Kilifi County. Police are alleged to have pounced on 36-year-old Santa Kaingo before a scuffle allegedly ensued.
Tukafahamishwa baadaye kwamba kazi ni ameshikwa na ako kituo cha polisi. Siku ya pili saa 12 asubuhi wakakuja nyumbani wakachukua mama pale ambaye hata hawezi kuandika, wakaenda naye kwa kituo cha polisi ambaye ni mama ya huyo marehemu. Hapo basi kisha baadaye wakatufahamisha sisi kama familia kwamba ameaga dunia.
Kaingo was then forced onto a motorcycle and taken to the Kizurini police station where he was booked for the night. He never made it till morning.
Madaktari wameconfirm ya kwamba amekufa kwa njia ya kujinyonga na report yote full itatolewa baadaye, lakini sisi tuna tashwishi manake tumeona alama za marks za kuonesha kwamba alikuwa amedhulumiwa, alikuwa amepigwa.
Postmortem results conducted at the Coast General Hospital on Wednesday morning revealed that he may have been deprived of air.
Tafuta haki sahihi kutoka kwa, naona serikali itamulika sana jinsi vile polisi wanavyo harass wananchi, badala ya kuwasaidia wao wanazidi kuongeza madhara kwa wananchi.
Family is alleging foul play.
All right, and that story by Nancy Okwara takes us to our first breather on Prime Edition. But of course, a reminder of our conversation tonight, bearing in mind that Wafula Chebukati, Boya Molu, and Professor Abdigli have exited the IEBC. 3 of its commissioners have resigned rather than face a tribunal. We have 1 commissioner remaining at the IEBC. They are suspended and their fate remains unknown up until the Agri-Muchelule Tribunal delivers on its verdict. Tonight, we engage the Member of Parliament for Gatundu South, Gabriel Kagombe, on the reconstitution of the IEBC and what is required.
Indeed. That is quite an engagement, and we welcome you to tune in and also give us your feedback on Twitter.
All right.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye kwenye M-Pesa, chagua lipa na M-Pesa, paybill number 757070, account number andika neno Loto, kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala, nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
You're not accepting the truth that you're handling this the very wrong way.
Mwanze pia nyinyi kuangalia maisha yenu. Kwenda zako Nairobi. Is this petrol? Oh, hi. I'm sorry, but are you lost?
Not lost, I'm in the right place.
Kama unatia maana kuniambia kwa heri.
Mama Jane, mimi na wewe tuna maisha mrefu ya kuishi katika hii dunia. Sana sana mimi.
If Mama Jane wants her place back, then she should fight for it. I'd fight harder.
Don't you men just love it when women fight for you?
Pete, what's going on here?
Come on baby, calm down.
Hi Mama Felix.
Tumefanya ile kitu.
Kitu gani?
Welcome back. You're watching the Prime Edition. 2 people, a man and a woman, died after the car they were in plunged into a dam in Manyara ward in Juja, Kiambu County on Tuesday night.
Area MCA Ngada Wambiri says the two were reported to have been in the vehicle next to the dam moments before they were heard screaming for help while drowning.
A team from the Kiambu County Fire Department racing to the scene of the tragedy. Rescuers scouring the murky waters in order to locate and retrieve the bodies of the victims.
Area kuna kuja watu kujibamba masaa ya jioni. Unaonanga gari zinapula hapa, kila mtu anakuja na drink zake. Tukiangalia pale kumejaa chupa za pombe.
The body of the woman was retrieved last night and that of the man this morning. Manyara Ward MCA Ngada Wambiri, who spoke at the scene of the accident, warned Kenyans against reveling near open dams, with residents also calling for fencing to avert further calamities.
Huku unajua maji inatumika, watu wanatumia hii maji huku. Sasa sisi tungetaka tu kuwa fence huku, tufensiwe huku. Kisha juu watu wade wasikii wakiambiwa no swimming. Hadi kufish bado ule atakuanguka.
Tukiendelea kama kiongozi hapa, niko na mswada nataka kuleta kwa bunge ili all the dams kuwe zimesigirwa, tuone vile kama tutazuia watu kupoteza maisha yao.
There are suggestions to also transform the dams into enablers of agricultural productivity. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
If it wasn't for myths associated with some sacred forests such as canopy or such canopies would have long gone, such is the case of Omumbwa Forest in Vihiga County, whose ancestral and spiritual connection has inculcated conservation ideals that have secured it for generations.
Lying just a kilometer from the equator and cutting through Maseno at Emuli Esendumba in Vihiga County is Omumbwa Sacred Forest. The forest is considered the repository of spiritual beliefs of the Abanyole people and hence the sacred abode of their ancestors. Villagers are forbidden from setting foot there lest they provoke the wrath of the gods and ancestors. The indigenous forest boasts of unique plant species locally known as Omusenjeli and Omurumba, the giant yellow mulberry, African wild olive and large-leafed cordia. A village elder, Javan Omondi, says that as part of the mythical story, a curse will befall anyone who attempted to cut down trees, collect firewood, or even kills a sacred animal from the forest. More so, honey harvesting and animal grazing is also forbidden. These beliefs have been instrumental in educating generations on the benefits of conserving the forest.
Huu msitu ndio msitu mkubwa ambao unajulikana kwa jina msitu wa Mumbwa, na yeye peke yake ndiye amezikwa hapa. Kwa maisha yangu hapa naona kama msitu umepewa heshima ya juu sana. Huwezi kwenda hapa ndani utafute kuni ndani hapa. La. Hiyo sheria imekataa, yaani mila yetu inakataa.
He strongly believes that the sacred forest is the nerve center of ecological, spiritual and cultural practices and the governance system of the Abanyole people.
Hatutaki kuona kama wanaingilia misitu kama hii, kukata miti ndani, kufieka, hairuhusiwi kabisa. Ndio sababu unaona msitu bado umehifadhika mpaka wa sasa kutoka 19.
Msitu huwa inahifadhiwa ndio ilete hata wageni kutoka mbali, changia pesa ya utalii, masomo, jiografia, watu kujua upande wa mti aina fulani na behave namna gani.
Indeed, environmental knowledge on the forest has made a significant contribution to the protection of its biophysical environment for sustainable development in the entire western region.
Ukikaa vile ulivyo namna hii, ni rahisi kisasa ambacho kinakuja labda hakitakuwa na heshima kama heshima yetu kwa hii msitu. Tungepataka hata iwekwe ua zuia ili kwamba uzidi kuwa hapo vile umekuwa miaka hiyo yote.
Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
All right, a fantastic story there by Opichu Chemtai. Want to take the next?
Yes, now the government has been urged to invest in the training and recruitment of cancer specialists, proper management of the disease.
Concerns are growing in Western Kenya that the region has a shortage of doctors and specialists, leaving locals badly exposed.
Speaking during the launch of the cervical cancer screening in Kakamega Town, General Hospital Medical Superintendent Dr. urged the government to establish a radiotherapy center for the treatment of cancer patients.
One of the songs we need to go out there and preach is creating opportunities for our healthcare providers to enhance their education and even recruit more, so that patients are attended to in a timely manner. They don't feel like they have wasted a whole day for a service they could receive within minutes.
Kakamega County First Lady Professor Janet Baraza further noted that the completion of the Level 6 referral hospital will ease the pressure by bringing in more cancer specialists.
The Level 6 hospital will also have specialized equipment and specialists who will offer first-class health services to citizens in the entire Western region.
Watu wengi wanaogopa kwenda kuambiwa kwamba wewe uko na kansa. Afadhali ufanyiwe alafu upatikane kwamba it is early stage, you can be treated.
Healthcare workers were further called upon to take care of their health by being at the forefront to undergo cancer screening.
All right, it is almost like a dream come true for a 17-year-old boy who is a talented footballer.
Now, but he is torn between the thrills of crime and the promises of soccer.
Will he manage to escape the barrel of the gun? All this in tonight's episode of a Wednesday feature segment, Cinemas and Theatre.
Kibera si mahali pa kulelea kijana. Jui Kibera navyoijua mimi.
We just can't allow you to continue attending classes and yet you have such a huge fees balance.
Pepeta is a film based on the real-life story of Harun Rio Wathari, who hails from Kibera. The 8-part series captures the dreams and realities of the youth in Kibera, a place considered the hotbed of football talent.
Unaona mkacheza vile umecheza leo sato hivyo. Hiyo tona ni yetu man.
Kama tona big utachezaje bila Gwanda?
Pepeta follows 3 intertwining stories. Junior is a 17-year-old talented footballer torn between the thrills of crime and the promises of soccer.
These children are out of control.
Kefa is an unforgiving cop with a personal vendetta determined to rid the streets of criminals, and Biki, an ambitious football coach determined to get Junior and his friends scouted before the barrel of the gun cuts short their dreams.
The story on Facebook, and the story I read was actually about someone I knew, and I played football with him at the time. We were in the same team. So I got interested, I was curious. So I reached out to him, asked him if he would be comfortable in it being done as we wanted to do it as a movie.
It's a story that will touch so many Kenyans, and at the end of the day, it will entertain you and educate you.
The series features predominantly young casts, including some who have never been on screen before. Pepeta stars Brahim Ouma. The cast also includes Malik Lemuel Govi, who makes a major comeback since Machachari, Dedan J. Onyango, Luanda Jawar, and Avril Nyambura, as well as George Moe, among others.
I got my cast through audition, so it was interesting since some of them were, actually the majority of them are new faces to the screen. The workshop really helped them.
One thing I had to go to read newspapers, get to see how the whole thing goes around, and watch around how people behave, how cops behave, how thugs behave, and then after that, as an actor, I have to find myself, I have to listen to myself and get to understand what does it entail to play Kefa and to bring out Kefa, of course with the help of the director.
Produced by CJ3 Entertainment, directed by Vincent Mbaya, Pepeta builds on the success of other Showmax originals in Kenya, like the political thriller series County 49, the thriller series Igiza, the police procedural and legal drama Crime and Justice, and the coming-of-age film Twins.
It was so good, whereby every day you ulikuwa unaangalia kwenda job the following day, scene after scene after scene, because there was a good vibe around there. Our industry is working and it's going, so I urge all filmmakers out there, let us join together, work together, and improve our industry and head forward.
Easy Brooks. Pepeta is currently streaming on Showmax. Every gets to watch a new episode every Thursday.
Clean Masharia for us and Pieta.
Bali vijana wadogo wapuzi.
Kishi na bunduki,
unakufa na bunduki.
With extensive research on the ecological cost of technology.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka na nambari simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Facebook that are actually calling for regulators to regulate. 10 years ago.
Now we speak business. The Law Society of Kenya wants importation and use of GMOs to remain banned until a legal framework to regulate cultivation, importation and use in Kenya is put in place. Law Society of Kenya President Eric Theory says lack of traceability and mitigation in Kenya's food system may expose consumers to unknowingly partake GMO foods, as well as protect local farmers from patent laws by multinational seed companies.
National Assembly's Committee on Agriculture and Livestock has kicked off a hearing on GMOs, seeking to safety, effect on the environment and impact on food security. Today, the legislators heard from NGOs such as ActionAid, Oxfam and Greenpeace, as well as the Law Society of Kenya, who proposed that the Seeds and Plants Varieties Act of 2012 be amended to address the patent issues surrounding the seed distribution and rights to shield smallholders from copyright lawsuits.
It would be irresponsible if we move without the necessary legal and scientific framework to ensure that if there can be any harm, then that harm is controlled, it can be identified, and it can be mitigated.
So these seeds, when you buy them, you cannot replant them because they are intellectual property of the owners. And in Kenya, we have a law, the Seed and Plant Varieties Act, Cap 326 of 2012, that actually defines, criminalizes exchange or trading and sharing those seeds as well.
He wants the government to put in place policies that will ensure local seeds are patented to preserve traditional food varieties from mutilation when cultivation of GMO crops starts in Kenya.
That as we interact with our memorandum and as we interact with the science, you will probably arrive at a conclusion that the need for precaution in this area is paramount.
Yes, there's place for genetic engineering and there's the science element to it as well. But I think we have to pay attention to the corporate intention to capture our food systems and colonize the food systems so that all farmers, especially the smallholder farmers in the rural areas, are now dependent on the corporates on their seeds.
They argued that food security could be addressed by reducing post-harvest losses and streamlining the food supply chain.
The amount of food produced in the world is enough to feed the entire population. But unfortunately, this food needs to be properly distributed. So the supplies management aspect is the issue.
They believe enhancements in climate-smart agriculture is key in mitigating the effects of climate change. Benson Droba reporting for Prime Edition.
To manufacturing, the government is banking on export promotion and revitalization of dormant subsectors to grow the manufacturing sector. Trade Principal Secretary Juma Mkwana says gineries will be revived or constructed in cotton-producing counties and a one-stop industrial park for making construction material set up to increase their contribution to the economy.
The manufacturing sector currently accounts for 7.2% of the gross domestic product. The government believes this contribution could increase if manufacturing sector players focus on quality products in order to be competitive in the international markets.
That's very important for us because then it protects our lives. It also protects our investments.
We have the necessary infrastructure to ensure product compliance.
They say more could be done to enhance the contribution of construction and textile to incentivize small manufacturers in these industries to boost their production quality and capacity.
We have a very elaborate policy on micro, small, medium enterprises where we are giving incentives to small industries. We are really focusing on the product itself. Initially, we used to, have a certain criteria which was quite difficult in terms of how the infrastructure you've set in.
Revitalize our manufacturing so that we are able to take advantage. The East African community is already nearly 200 million people. The African continent is 1.4 billion people. You saw we already made the first export of tea to Ghana, but what do we have to export? So the question that we are finding ourselves in is that we have opened up such a huge market, but we don't have the products that we need to to sell in that market.
The Trade Principal Secretary said raw material sourcing will be made easier by providing a ready market and collection centers in counties to encourage farmers to boost production. In addition, he says an industrial park will be set up in Athi River, Machakos County, to serve as a one-stop center for construction products manufacturers, and this will be replicated for other subsectors in the future.
This industrial park will be important for promoting Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. So anybody that has good technology that they want to invest in construction can then come there.
Hibak Said for Prime Edition.
The Environment and Lands Court in Migori has commenced verification to bring to an end a land tussle that has slowed the implementation of Lower Kuja irrigation scheme in Nyatike. Implementation of the irrigation project that targeted to put 19,000 acres of land under crops has been slowed down by numerous court cases related to land compensation and claims of displacement due to flooding.
The Lower Kuja irrigation project started well and benefited farmers before some of them moved to court on claims that the installed irrigation infrastructure was causing flooding in the area and displacement. The Migori Environment and Lands Court Judge Mohamed Kulo led a team of lawyers to Agenga village in North Kadem on a fact-finding mission where a section of few farmers claimed to have been displaced by the initial implementation phase of the project.
Yani maji yakapita hata maeneo ambayo hayajawahi kupita hata siku moja. Tukashanga vipi leo? Hasa tukaamua kuhama kwa nini? Majumba yote yalifurika maji, yalijaa maji. Hicho ndicho kilichofanya tuhame.
The Lower Kuja irrigation project targets 19,000 acres of land, has faced delays due to the many court cases related to land compensation and claims on displacement due to flooding.
Tunnels were dug, the access roads were not made, the culverts were not made, the gates were not properly constructed. So the infrastructure has been so poor. And this has made water to go into people's houses, especially during that time when there was the flash floods. So it coupled with the waters of irrigation. A lot of people were displaced.
The project is one of the new frontiers for rice farming in Kenya, with a potential of 19,000 acres without a dam and about 80,000 acres with a dam. Gogo Dam has been proposed upstream, and it's one of the dams being considered to realize the project's full potential. Dotamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Yes, you got my full support. That's the spirit. But what happened today?
You need to give it everything. No more trash like this here. Off you go.
Listen to me. You'd better start watching what you say before you get us all in trouble. Now move.
You don't even understand the basics.
I was originally hired by logistics.
Okay?
All progress begins with failure, right? It's how we identify our weaknesses. Don't cry. People are watching you.
Santos Chifira. Unafanya kazi gani?
Mimi nauzanga mawabling na wagon. Kwani wewe peke yako tu hapo kwa hiyo mtaa wewe ndio uko na mkokoteni? Lakini ni wagon yangu ndio imepatikana kwangu. Mimi nikiwapeaga wagon renangwa, wanakuja magizgiz, wananipiga ngadua ama ruas.
Hiyo ni nini?
Wewe kuna mkokoteni yako ipotea?
Mimi hakuna mkokoteni.
Na uko na mikokoteni?
Hapana.
Uko na ambulance hiyo?
Sina.
Na ulikuwa unakuja kutufanyia first aid hapo kwa Kiraimu Sini kama nani?
Munangere ndio nini?
Ni pesa.
Unasikia?
Huyo hana kitu.
Wewe unaweza mlipa huyu?
Nani?
Wewe.
Mimi sina kitu ya kumlipa na mlipa.
Sasa kwa nini unauliza swali ambayo haitakusaidia?
Wasana na hiyo yote. Hiyo barabara ni yako.
Barabara sio.
Nimesahau kucheza Loto Moto. Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Kisha weka star na nambari yako ya simu. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000.
Aulali.
Lipa kisha subiri draw. Welala. Nitakutimizia ndoto zako. Milioni 2 usiamini. Ujumbe huu umeidhinishwa na BCLB.
Just think about our business. You can't risk getting into another fight with Fabiola. For heaven's sake, Malena.
Well, you really shouldn't be picking any fights either, Sergio.
That's different. I'm a man.
But then you lost. No fighting involved. Just listen to me.
Julia, if you're back to take the glass away, I haven't finished my lemonade yet, okay? I know it was you who started the fire last night. Next time, farmhand, think twice before you start messing with me. What a surprise. What are you doing here? Do you really think she would do something like that?
I thought I knew her well, Mr. Olegario. However, your daughter has left me.
Welcome to KBC Prime Edition. It's now time for us to take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, 5-time world cross-country champion Paul Tergat has been named the ambassador for the 44th World Athletics Cross-Country Championship, set to be held in Bathurst, Australia on the 18th of next month.
National Olympic Committee of Kenya President Paul Tergat will be the ambassador of the World Cross Country in Australia. Tergat is one of the greats of long-distance running, and it was in cross-country that his success story began. The first of his 5 individual world cross-country crowns was claimed in Durham, United Kingdom in 1995, and he would go on to gain gold at the next 4 editions in Stellenbosch, South Africa in 1996, Turin, Italy in 1997, Marrakech, Morocco in 1998, and Belfast, United Kingdom in 1999. Kenya will send a team of 40 athletes to the global event led by former world cross-country champions Geoffrey Kamworor and Irene Cheptai. Meanwhile, the National Olympic Committee has officially closed the 3rd edition of the Elite Youth Camp at Merisho School in Isinya. During the camp, athletes planted trees with NOC targeting to plant 10,000 trees in 2023, apart from the lessons given. Commonwealth Games champion and Africa fastest man Ferdinand Manyara and 5,000 meters double Olympic silver medalist Helen Obiri joined the team building camp, which started on 9th January. The Elite Youth Development Program 2022-2026 has an aim of transitioning athletes from the Cairo Youth African Games in 2022 to Dakar 2026 Youth Olympic Games and finally 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games.
Thank you, Buckley, for that detailed report. Moving on, the National Cereals and Produce Board men's handball team, tactician and women's team head coach Brian Matthews have been named the Star Times SJAC Coach of the Month. Matthews led the NCPB team to the East and Central Africa Club Championship title after defeating Tanzanian champions Ngome 24-18 in the title-deciding match played in Zanzibar last month. The coach was awarded 100,000 Kenya shillings, a 55-inch smart television set, and a personalized trophy. Matthews was up in contention together with Jacko Ching, who led Nairobi Water Queens to the ladies' title in the women's category of the same regional competition. Other coaches who made it to the nomination list include Kenya's Tong Ilmudu team head coach Master Ibrahim Mchumba, Meshak Senge of Strathmore Gladiators hockey team, Curtis Olago of KCB rugby team, KPA basketball coach Anthony Ojuku, and his counterpart Sadat Gaya, who heads Thunder basketball team.
I feel great, motivated as a coach. The initiative you guys have started, it's a really good one to the coaches, and to keep on pushing our players to deliver to their limits where they can.
Handball is part of our talent development. So we've been sponsoring handball for a very, very long time. We want to encourage many more coaches within the country that we are on the lookout.
Coaches are the only people who perform well and they are never recognized. And that is why we came up with this event. People celebrate athletes, people celebrate other people, people celebrate company bosses, but they forget the most important person. And yet, when the team performs badly, the person who takes the flag is the coach.
Congratulations, Coach Brian Matthews. Moving on, Vihiga Bullets came from 2 goals down to force a 3-3 draw with Kariobangi Sharks in their Kenya Premier League match played today at the Kasarani Annex Stadium. Vihiga went ahead in the 22nd minute, but a brace from Moses Shikanda in a span of 4 minutes ensured Sharks led 2-1 in the first half. After the break, Maina increased Sharks' lead by after the hour mark, but 2 late goals from Vincent Ogola and Nixon Kalwale gave Vihiga an important point. At Nyayo Stadium, AFC Leopards beat Mathare United 2-1 despite a late red card shown to Collins Shivachi. At Sudi Stadium, John Mwangi scored a hat-trick at Nzoia Sugar as Nzoia Sugar thrashed Wazito FC 4-0 to top the league standings on 21 points after Tusker FC drew 2-2 with Talanta FC. Gor Mahia and Sofapaka settled for a barren draw.
Mwagia sifa kede Sigmund Maina ameingia pasi yake ya kwanza, touch yake ya kwanza baada ya kuandaliwa. Cheza kwa nguvu mpya Kibi Ward. Cheza kwa tulia namna gani hapa? Ogola Vincent Ogola anapata goli lake la 5 msimu huu. Gamuso namna gani? Alijaribu Omole na Nixon.
And those are all the sports stories we had for you tonight. Don't forget that tonight, Crystal Palace will be playing with Manchester United at 11 p.m. I'm definitely supporting Manchester United. I don't know about you, Kioria.
I'm going to support Manchester United. I'd rather go the other way. I'm still fine with Crystal Palace. Thanks for the sports, Karen Kibet, and of course, a fantastic evening ahead. It's time for us to have our conversation on the reforms, much expected reforms in the IEBC, but the Constitution, because the IEBC as it is now has 0 commissioners. One of them is suspended and of course awaiting the decision of the tribunal. 3 opted to resign and 3, including the chair Wafula Chebukati, their term ended yesterday. So our conversation tonight is about the reconstitution of the IEBC, and in studio I have the Member of Parliament for Gatundu South, Gabriel Kagombe, who joins me in studio tonight. Asante sana Mheshimiwa for joining us. Let's talk about the IEBC Amendment Bill. Obviously, that you passed as the National Assembly. And then looking at it, Senate tomorrow has a special sitting to discuss the same. But on this amendments is that you have the political parties liaison committee being represented in the selection panel, as well as the the Public Service Commission. Why put the political parties liaison committee as part of the selection panel?
When we were changing amending the Elections Act, the IEBC Act of 2020, it's because you realize there's been a pattern. Right from the days of Chesoni, to the days of Kivuitu, to the days of Isaac Hassan, there's been a pattern. You realize when before Cherera came, we had the case of Akombe, and there were 4 members who left. Then you realize we had the PSC having so much power in giving, because we could give 4 commissioners, and this is a commission of 7 people. So what that means is that then, because they're politically instigated, because we must be honest with ourselves, you realize that pattern repeated itself again in 2022, and you find that there are 4 people quit, the same people who had come. It tells you that the way they were selected has an issue. So we're trying to fix it so that we get these people from a better spread pool, so that we're able to look at interests, so that we avoid in future having issues of people coming to represent their political interests. If you listen to what Akombe said, you'd hear her saying that there was leaking of documents and people coming to represent very selfish political interests and advancing selfish political interests. We are trying to cure that, so that we find people, so that if we have someone from the LSK, someone from the Public Service Commission, then 2 people from the Parliamentary Service Commission, then we bring now first of all, for the committee of political parties has the majority and the minority parties. So for us to agree on someone, we'll be doing a tie. We'll be breaking a tie. So we'll be getting someone who is supposed to be very, very neutral. And you'd also expect that the person you get from the PSC, the Public
Service Commission, yes,
is also apolitical. So you're trying to get as many apolitical people as possible, because if we continue like this, then we'll be changing these people every cycle, because these people, when you have PSC, Parliamentary Service Commission, has both sides of the divide. So these ones bring the person who is friendly to them, and the other person who brings the other side brings the person who is friendly to them. Then it cannot work.
Let me ask you a quick one, Mheshimiwa, because you're referencing the election of 2022. Of course, then the political parties liaison committee did not have a representation in the selection panel of the IEBC commissioners. But yet we saw what we saw with the Cherera 4. And of course accused yesterday by the president of lying in wait to advance political interest of the people who nominated them then. So if we ended up here without representation from political parties, now that we have them, don't you think it's a recipe for chaos?
No, what I'm saying is, we are trying to increase the parties that are nominating into this commission.
All right.
Because the more, then we lack someone with a lot of control. These 4 people had been elected through the PSC, all right? So the 4 had come representing it's also political, because PSC was nominating 4 people. So we've reduced it from 4 to 2.
A man and a woman.
A man and a woman. Previously, it used to be 4 people would paralyze the operations of the commission. And they were all coming from the PSC. That is what we are trying to avoid. And then you see, this being a political process and being political appointments again, you will now not go to, you won't go to the Association of Manufacturers and tell them to give us. It has to be within the political ground. And that is why we chose the Political Parties Act, the Committee on Political Parties. But I think in the future, we must think of creating accountability and having people who know that whatever side of the divide you may come from, that we have a country to run. So first of all, what I think is more important, even more than the people selecting, is the people that we get into these seats. People must know that we don't have another country. You cannot come and play games with a country just to advance your cheap political gimmicks and games. You must know that we have children, we have women, we have men in this country who are running their businesses. These countries are going concern. It cannot be brought to its knees simply because you have some cheap political games that you want to play. So whichever way we appoint people here, I think the greatest question to ask ourselves is that do we get people who are accountable? Because you see, Jacob, at some point, we will have to fill these offices, whichever way. Whether we bring them to Uhuru Park and then we appoint them, whether they are elected by members of whether we even create that they are elected, like we are elected, those offices will be filled by people, whichever way we use. So for me, the drafters of the amendments tried to amend it, but I think we still have a long way to go.
A long way to go. Yeah. I was looking at the exit report of the IEBC and some of the things they're looking forward to. I'm talking about Wafula Chebukati, not the exit of the IEBC really, but the team that has left. And part of it, the IEBC or the people who left appears to blame Parliament for some of the procedural issues or the issues they were having generally to deal with as a commission. And one of them, and they put it in terms of recommendations, is filling the vacant positions 2 years before a general election. And number two, also, election-related laws should be harmonized 2 years before a general election. Because we found ourselves in the last election cycle, where commissioners were nominated a year to the election, or laws were changed almost months to the election.
Well, those are recommendations that make sense. But I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Just like I've said, we may have laws, but we need to know the individuals who are there. Right now, as we are, the law says that the preparation to change should start 6 months in advance. So it means we all knew that Chebukati was
going to leave. Yeah.
So the committee or the selection panel should have been formed in June last year. That's the law as it is.
And the president has declared these seats vacant already.
Not yet.
Yeah, through a Gazette notice he did last year.
Yes, he did. But I'm saying, what should have actually happened if we just followed the law as it is? At least 6 months ago, before the election in June, the committee should have been formed by the previous regime. Did that happen?
No.
So that's not Parliament. Parliament had given six months. You did not follow it. So whose work is it? You get? Because it's not Parliament that now. The only thing that Parliament does is to make the act. But Parliament does not form the committee or the selection panel. So it wasn't followed. Number two, remember the committee that was changed in 2017, the commission that was 2017 was formed in January and it broke August. So if we had made laws, I mean, it broke after the elections that happened. So there's also a possibility that even the commission itself, and that's why I'm still insisting on the accountability and integrity of the people who are appointed to those offices, could have broken a month before the elections. And they resigned, What if the people who resigned in 2017 and resigned immediately after elections, what if they had resigned a month to elections? What have we have done? So these whole things can be fixed. We need law to fix it, but we also need accountability from individuals.
All right.
That law has been good if we had accountable. It's a proper law.
You're a lawmaker, Heshimiwa. The IEBC obviously appeared to be at the dock at the Supreme Court in this last elections, and particularly the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court judges said you need to point the law in the sense of it defines clearly the work of the chairperson vis-a-vis the other commissioners, because it appeared again like the chairperson was whitewashing the commissioners in the entire process. How do you plan to deal with that dicey matter as we wind up?
No. That is just politics that our people, our opponents, were trying to bring into this. The law says, some of these things have to be done by someone. You cannot announce an election, 7 of you. You can't read a document, 7 of you. No, there has to be someone who does something. And the law is clear on who the returning officer of the presidential election is. It is the chairman. So all the issues that they're bringing, Chebukati just followed the law. He announced the elections as required. It is him and not commission. And what is supposed to be announced is not a consensus of 7 people who sat together. No, it's an election. You see, again, we decide to be unaccountable, and then we blame the law. This law, given to another group of people, is a very good law. It would work. This law, minus political inclinations, is a very good law. Because you would sit, if you dispute and if you disagree with what is happening, this law, wherever you fix it, will never stop a Cherera situation. If Chereras come, they will still run amok and go to Serena and announce something else. Because it depends on where these Chereras came and what the intention is with the country. So, but if you have people of integrity and people who are accountable, they will still work within that law and be accountable and make proper legal decisions.
Mheshimiwa, I still want to understand. You have a recommendation, active recommendation from the Supreme Court. That means then you have to act on it as members of parliament. Very quickly.
The only thing now that you would do probably is just change the wording. Make a small amendment and say that that the decision of the chairman will be final and it supersedes the decisions of the other members. And then we make steps and stages where other members of the commission can dispute the process, but the actual announcement of the election has to be by the chairman. But then we could make other. It's not even maybe an act, but just other regulations and legislation saying giving stages. That up until maybe 70% of counting, then the commission can sit down and give recommendations and say whether the process is okay or whether everybody agrees with what is happening. Because you see, we found issues where we caught ourselves that we have done 80% of the process and everybody was okay with it until the last 20% when someone looks at it and says, hey, things are not going our side. We are not pleasing our masters. And then you rush and go start announcing our things. That's the only problem.
All right. Mheshimiwa Gigi Kagombe from Gatundu South, of course, advocating that the next phase of recruiting commissioners obviously would have to have people who are passionate, and most importantly, about the welfare and the affairs of the country. Not just about the heads, but indeed about following the law. But of course, Mheshimiwa Gigi, all eyes are on you as you resume from recess in February. The Senate tomorrow is dealing with the IEBC Amendment Act 2022 and probably pass it, and then paves the way for the appointment of a selection panel. And then again, we refocus our eyes on you as the recruitment of the IEBC commissioners begins in earnest. That's all for Prime Edition. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much, Mheshimiwa, for joining us tonight.
Very good.
Asante. Good night.
Having me.
Kupata Waibrania kama skiza tune yako, bonyeza *811 *817#.
Yesu Kristo ni yule yule, jana, leo na hata milele. Wahibrania 13:8.
Kupata Waibrania, bonyeza *811 *817#. *811 *817#.
Just think about our business. You can't risk getting into another fight with Fabiola. For heaven's sake, Malena.
Well, you really shouldn't be picking any fights either, Sergio.
That's different. I'm a man.
But then you lost. No fighting involved. Just listen to me.
Julia, if you're back to take the glass away, I haven't finished my lemonade yet, okay? I know it was you who started the fire last night. Next time, farmhand, think twice before you start messing with me. What a surprise. What are you doing here?
you really think she would do something like that? I thought I knew her well, Mr. Olegario. However, your daughter has left me.
Santos Chifira. Unafanya kazi gani?
Mimi nauza kama wobbling na wagon. Kwani wewe peke yako tu hapo kwa hiyo mtaa wewe ndio uko na mkokoteni? Lakini ni wagon yangu ndio imepatikana kwa nguri. Mimi nikiwapeaga wagon renangwa, wanakuja magizgiz, wananipiga ngadua ama ruas.
Sasa hiyo nini?
Wewe kuna mkokoteni yako ipotea?
Mimi hakuna mkokoteni.
Na uko na mikokoteni?
Hapana.
Uko na ambulance hiyo?
Sina.
Na ulikuwa unakuja kutufanyia first aid hapo kwa Kiraimsini kama nani?
Munangere ndio nini?
Ni pesa.
Unasikia?
Huyo hana kitu.
Wewe unaweza mlipa huyu?
Nani?
Wewe.
Mimi sina kitu ya kumlipa na mlipa.
Sasa kwa nini unauliza swali ambayo haitakusaidia?
Wasana na hiyo yote. Hiyo barabara ni yako.
Barabara. Sio.
and sing a song and rejoice. On that rocky road, marching onward, keep moving on forward. Kiambu slumber forward. Get up, sleepy lion, focus onward, keep moving on forward.
Holding on a rope got me 10 feet off the ground. Hearing what you say, but I just can't make the sound. Oh, tell me that you need me, then you go and cut me down. Away, you tell me that you're sorry, didn't think I'd turn around. Say, now it's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. I took another chance, took the fall, took the shot for you. Oh, I need you like a heart needs a beat, but that's not from you. No, I love you with the fire red, now it's turning blue. And you say, sorry like the angel, never let me think was you. But I'm afraid, too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late.
Guys, that's how we start this week's edition of The Rave right here on KBC Channel 1 TV. And of course, we are live on KBC Radio Taifa as well. I hope you had a great weekend. Karibuni sana, wiki yako imeanza poa in The Rave. Na mazee, kawaida unajua ni big people music till later. Leo Stano vipi?
Mimi niko poa sana Junior Dread, I give thanks. Na nakwambia kama kawaida vile umesikia kutoka kwa Junior Dread, expect the unexpected but the very best.
Cut.
Show noma sana.
Cut, rudi kwa music.
It's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Holding on a rope got me 10 feet off the ground. I'm hearing what you say, but I just can't make it sound. No, you tell me that you need me, then you go and cut me down. Away, you tell me that you're sorry, didn't think I'd turn around. Say, it's too late to apologize. It's too late. It's too late to apologize. Too late. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Too late to apologize. It's too late.
And DJ Stano at your service. Sao vipi selector?
Very true. Kama kawaida, expect the unexpected but the very best. We there mpaka late. Ama unaona tuende mpaka saa ngapi leo JD?
Tuwapatie 2 hours.
Hata leo umeamua 2 hours
za pure reggae.
Sawa, ushasema.
Yeah,
ushasema. So karibu sana, get interactive. Unaweza tupata kwenye Facebook, kwenye Instagram, kwenye Twitter utatupata live and direct at KBC Channel 1 TV. at Radio Taifa FM, at Junior Dread and at Stano DJ. Don't forget the hashtag is the Rave KBC. Pia kwenye Facebook. JD, tueleze watupate wapi?
Facebook ni hapo hivyo KBC Channel 1 TV, KBC Radio Taifa, alafu pia DJ Stano hapo Facebook, na Junior Dread hapo hivyo, utanipata pale live.
Yeah man, alafu JD, kuna rafiki mmoja aliniambia tukiingia tu hivi nikuambie, alikuona pale ukisherehekea ile dabi. Niliambiwa nisisahau nikuambie kuna mahali ulionekana umetesa
noma sana
after ile dabi.
Inabidi.
Kwani ulikuwa unatesa wapi bana? Aliniambia hata niambia nikuulize wewe mwenyewe.
Chini ya maji unajua naweza sema ni wapi?
Nilisikia Nakuru hivyo tu.
Ushasema sasa naye
wapi hapo?
Wewe una siri. Pale Escape hapo ndani Nakuru Naka, hapo ndio tunakuaga tukisherehekea pia hii Sunday. Tutakuwa tunasherehekea hapo. Kuna game kubwa inakuja.
Na leo unajua pia kuna game nyingine.
Hii wachana nayo.
Hii ni
tizi ya Sunday.
Ni tizi.
Tizi ya Sunday.